What's going on, everyone? It's Nick, and today I want to talk about the Denver Nuggets. In my basketball videos on this channel, I feel like I focused a little too much on the New York and LA team, so I thought it's time I change it up a little bit and talk about a team I haven't really talked about on here, but is doing really well right now, and that's the Denver Nuggets. So before we begin, please remember to like the video. Only takes 1 second, really helps out. Also, please remember to subscribe if you're new. I cover basketball, baseball, and football on this channel, so if you love any of those three sports, this is the place for you. Also, please remember to hit that notification bell so whenever I upload in the future, you're not gonna miss it. Also, I just reached 300 subscribers, so thank you all for supporting. Now, if you can hopefully help me get to 400 by the end of this month, that would be great. Now let's cue the intro and let's begin talking about the Denver Nuggets. So last season, as you may know, unless you lived under a rock last season, the Denver Nuggets shocked us all by overcoming 3-1 deficits in the playoffs twice, including the second round against the Clippers, who were heavily favored to win the championship. Although they lost in 5 to the eventual champion Los Angeles Lakers in the conference finals, that championship undeniably being the best thing that 2020 had to offer for me, the Denver Nuggets looked like they were destined to contend for years to come. They had a great cap situation going into the offseason with Paul Millsap's 3-year, $90 million contract coming to an end, and the Nuggets did re-sign him at a discount on just $10 million for this season. However, they lost an integral part of their success, and that's Jeremy Grant going to the Detroit Pistons. The Nuggets were not such a great defensive team last year, and with Grant being their best perimeter defender last year, it looked as if the team would take a step back this season. They were still expected to be a playoff team, obviously, with Nikola Jokic, who's already the best passing center of all time, also a really good shooter and a scorer, and a rebounder, just has a really nice all-around game, with Jamal Murray looking like a superstar in the bubble, and Michael Porter Jr. even showing flashes of all-star potential as well. However, the Nuggets got off to a rocky start this season, and Jamal Murray looked as if he came down to earth, and the Nuggets were just 1-5 to start the season. However, the Nuggets did go 11-5 in January. They were 6-7 in February, despite Jamal Murray averaging 25.8 points per game for the month. Now the Nuggets are the 4th seed in the West with a 33-18 record and have yet to lose since acquiring Aaron Gordon. And during that stretch, I know at least since Dom2K made his video, they were first in offensive and defensive rating. I'm pretty sure they still are, if I'm not mistaken. And after the game against the Pistons, Mike Malone was actually not happy with the defense. However, the very next game against the Spurs, they only gave up 96 points, which is amazing for today's NBA standards. And yeah, the Spurs have fallen off in the second half quite a bit, but we're here to talk about the Denver Nuggets. So Nikola Jokic has been an MVP candidate season all year, and now with LeBron and Embiid missing the significant amount of time that they are, well, Embiid is back, but LeBron's still out for quite a while. I hope he can return as soon as possible, but still don't know yet. Now, this is just Nikola Jokic's award to lose. That could change if he does get hurt though, but as of now, Nikola Jokic is definitely the MVP. And aside from Jokic though, or Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. has also really stepped up his play. In case anyone is either new here or doesn't remember, Michael Porter Jr. was my pick for most improved player. Statistically, he's not looking like he was that bad of a pick, but he's certainly not more worthy than Julius Randle or Jeremy Grant, or even Christian Wood, despite all the games that Christian Wood has missed. Porter didn't really show out in January, and he did also catch the virus, and he was not good to say the least in February, but since March, he's been averaging a little over 20 points per game on insane efficiency. Yeah, we're only 8 days into April as of now, but he's shooting 60% from the field with a true shooting percentage of almost 70%. So at the deadline, as you may know, the Nuggets got Aaron Gordon, and while Aaron Gordon may not be as good as Jeremy Grant, he's certainly good enough to at least fill in that void. I said it when assessing every trade at the deadline that Aaron Gordon's an underrated defender, and I think how good he is on defense is really getting more notice now that he's in a winning situation and on a legit contender. On offense, while Aaron Gordon's still averaging 14 points per game, which is what he did in Orlando the last 3 years, he's doing so on 60% from the field. I know it hasn't been in a lot of games, but when I have watched, he's been great off the ball, and he's really benefiting from playing alongside Jokic, which is something I very much expected as soon as the trade was made, and I think most people expected that, right? And he's also been a very underrated passer. He's made a lot of great reads and been doing a great job making the extra pass. And I check out what Monte Morris said about Aaron Gordon, and yes, I know Heat Check also posted this one in one of his recent videos before someone points it out to me, but if you're here and you've never heard of Heat Check, unless we know each other personally, wow, that's a shocker, but check out his channel. The content's amazing and is one of my inspirations for doing this. But here's what Monte Morris had to say about Aaron Gordon.
Hey Monte, what's just been your take on Aaron from watching these first couple games? Because it seems like it's just been a really seamless fit.
Amazing talent. He's in the locker room. He's the easiest baskets I done got, my whole career. But, he understands you can just cut on our team, and you can fall into 15 to 20 points just cutting it, and give yourself up. We got the best center and player, in the NBA. So he makes most of the plays. But, Aaron has been a great fit. I told Tim, that was a great pickup, along with, the other two guys, JaVale and Gary. So I'm proud that we got Aaron. He's very versatile. He helped us on the defensive end in many ways.
This latest game, Aaron Gordon only scored 9 points, but he was giving them great off-ball movement, and he made some plays on defense too. And I did try to watch as much of the Spurs-Nuggets game as possible before I made this video. I only caught the second half though because I was watching the Yankees and Knicks before the game, and yeah, tough losses for both teams. But then when I was trying to watch as much of the Nuggets Spurs game as possible, unfortunately I had internet problems, so didn't really watch as much as I would have liked, but I did at least get to see that the Nuggets had to come from behind, turned into a blowout victory against the Spurs. And Will Barton's another key to the Nuggets' success for his defense and hustle, while also being a 37% shooter from 3. He's averaging 12 points per game, and he's a very good shot creator. He didn't have a very efficient game against the Spurs though, but hey, it's only one game. I do have to talk about their bench though. They are currently 4th in bench scoring behind the Bucks, Nets, and Jazz. The Nets being second is also pretty wild considering depth was something that we all said they didn't have any of when the James Harden trade went down. But that's certainly not the case anymore. But with the Nuggets in this latest game against the Spurs, while none of their bench players got double digits, the closest was JaMychal Green with 9 points. He did so in 19 minutes though, and Monte Morris is averaging 10.3 points per game while coming off the bench in all but 11 games. And Greg Popovich even said after the game, their bench getting outplayed was a big reason why the Nuggets won this game. I'm also happy for JaVale McGee for being able to contribute to winning basketball again. Good for him after the Lakers did him dirty in the offseason. And Facundo Campazzo kinda reminds me of Pablo Prigioni. Who remembers Pablo Prigioni? Well, Prigioni was older when he was a rookie for the Knicks though than Campazzo is right now, and also shot even less than Campazzo, but a nice floor general coming off the bench and a rookie in their 30s coming from Europe. Let me know in the comments what you think. Although Campazzo actually did start this game against the Spurs with no Jamal Murray. And when I watched the second half of this game, it felt like he was playing well, but I checked the box score before recording and his line didn't look good at all. But again, internet problems stopped me from watching as much as I would have liked. But now, the question in the title: can the Denver Nuggets reach the NBA Finals? Can they dethrone the Lakers or beat the Clippers again? Or can they even beat the Suns or the Jazz? To be honest, I think they can. Do I think they will though? Not if LeBron and AD are healthy, and that's just me keeping it real. I swear I'm not being biased. I still don't think that betting against LeBron and AD when fully healthy, is a very safe bet to make, but I'm hoping that they're in rhythm before the playoffs begin. If not though, then the Lakers are pretty doomed. And can they beat the Clippers? Well, the Clippers are a better team than last year, but the Nuggets, at least they're a better defensive team now than they were last year. And Jamal Murray has really stepped up his defense lately when healthy. But with the Clippers, I've talked about them quite a bit on this channel. Tyronn Lue, a much bigger upgrade than Doc Rivers than I expected. He's not perfect, but nobody is. And they now have Serge Ibaka to guard Nikola Jokic instead of Montrezl Harrell. The Clippers were supposed to win last year because of their depth, but they're even deeper now with Nick Batum and Luke Kennard. And also, there's one more guy, Terrence Mann. And I really respect Terrence Mann because that dude played with heart. And they also just got DeMarcus Cousins. I didn't think anything of it when they got him, but actually now, after one game, I'd say, well, of course, we're not going to get Prime Boogie or anything even close to that. He does at least give them some more inside scoring presence. And of course, we got to look out for playoff Rondo when the playoffs arrive. And let's also not forget, we got to look out for the Suns and Jazz, as they are the top 2 seeds in the Western Conference right now. I wish I had the chance to watch that game though, that the Suns won in overtime, but yeah, those are 2 teams that we definitely got to look out for as well. Well, I think we all know that just from looking at the standings. With Jokic's MVP case, after LeBron and Embiid's injuries, yeah, I don't see a situation outside of Jokic getting hurt for Jokic to not win the MVP. And this would make it 3 years in a row that the MVP was awarded to a European, which has never been done before. It'll also be the first time since Dirk Nowitzki followed up Steve Nash's back-to-back MVPs with an MVP of his own, where non-Americans were given the award 3 years in a row. And Jokic in this game, he was a rebound away from a triple-double, 25 points and 10 assists. And yeah, like I already said, he's already the greatest passing center of all time. And he did have 6 turnovers in this game against the Spurs, but the Nuggets won. That's what matters most. And the fact that the Nuggets won this game without Murray, that can definitely elevate Jokic's MVP case. And even earlier in the season when his supporting cast was struggling, because the awards for the whole season, that should definitely help Jokic too. Not just since Aaron Gordon has arrived. Early in the season when his supporting cast was struggling, he had those 40-point games, even a 50-point game, because he had to do more on his own. And now Aaron Gordon just gives him another really good off-ball player to pass the ball to. And while I'm not the most analytical guy for basketball, much more for baseball, I will bring up the analytics just because I think that they're definitely going to help Jokic's case, because let's not forget that the media votes for these awards. Jokic has the best box plus minus, best offensive plus minus, best VORP, and leads the league in win shares by a good amount. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of those analytics with basketball, but knowing that the media votes for this award, I really do think that this is going to help him. So that's what I have to say about the Nuggets. Please remember to like the video if you still haven't yet and you're still here. Please remember to subscribe if you're still here, you still haven't subscribed yet. Please remember to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you next time.